Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. This is the 47th video of Haiyang's Practice Proverb series. All of the proverbs covered in this series are my original creations meant to preserve training knowledge in a proverb format to benefit present and future generations of practitioners. If you are new to this channel, please take some time to check out my content. You will find a lot of useful information about internal style martial arts and showdown practice. Following the same structure as in previous weeks, I will answer questions about last week's proverb and then move on to the new one. So let's recap last week's proverb first. It was 学拳时关注丹田，练拳时体会丹拳，用拳时处处丹田。Translation: When studying martial arts, pay attention to dantian. When practicing martial arts, sense dantian. When applying martial arts, everywhere is dantian. End translation. Now let me answer a question asked by some community members. Mr. Thomas Hodachek, a long-time community member, asks, quote, does that also apply to other techniques like silk reeling and other principles when applying in self-defense? End quote. Thank you, Mr. Hodachek, for this great question. Yes, this does apply to terms such as silk reeling, which is both a fundamental practice and a key principle, which is very similar to the term dantian indeed. So please try to apply the approach that I introduced in last week's video to this one, and you will surely see the difference. I hope I answered your question. Thank you again for this great question. Now let's move on to today's proverb. Very often people use the term Nei Jin or internal power when practicing the internal style of martial arts. So what is Nei Jin? Very often practitioners have a hard time answering this question precisely. Today's proverb will answer this question. It is 何为内劲？劲由心发，行于四肢，故有此称呼。There are 4 sentences organized into 2 parts. I will translate the Chinese version word by word and then introduce the English version. Also, I hope you will pay attention to these Chinese versions of terms so you can use them in communication in the future. The first part, 何为内劲? 何为 means what is, a way in classical Chinese language to ask a question. Nei means internal, Jin means power or energy. Put together, it raises the question, what is internal power? In other words, what is the definition of the popular term internal power or Nei Jin? The following part will answer this question. Let's continue. The second part, 劲由心发，行于四肢，故有此称呼。劲 means power, strength. 由 means from. 心 means heart, but in classical language, it means mind. 发 means generate, execute, from. 行 means move. 于 means along, to. 四肢 means limbs. 故 means so that. 由此 means in such. 称呼 means term, name. Put together, it means martial power starts from the mind and then moves along the limbs. So that is the reason for this term. In other words, internal power is the integration of a mind and martial strength or martial energy. As mentioned in some of my prior videos, it is very challenging to explain the meaning of some older terms since there was no tradition in the old days to define a term before using it in those old training manuals. People simply began using it, and with frequent usage over time, people expected others to understand it as a matter of fact. However, the result was very often the opposite. Despite ubiquitous usage, many people still don't understand the meaning of some very common terms, such as Nei Jin, the one I'm introducing today. My definition is based on my teaching, combined with some explanations from ancient training manuals, such as 常识五记书. So I hope going forward, you will bear in mind that Nei Jin has two elements, mind and energy. The lack or absence of either of the two elements would cease to make it internal power. Now, let's recap this proverb. What is Nei, internal, Jin, power? Energy is from the mind and transmitted to limbs, which is the origin of the name. That brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you all found this proverb and its explanation informative, and I hope it benefits your practice. Please post your questions about this proverb in the comment section. I will answer them for you in the first part of next week's video. Thanks for watching, see you next time, and enjoy your practice.